Hi friends, my name is Davinder. Again, I came here to tell you about the AWS, our VPC chapter. So last time, if you remember, we have in my last video we have did the AWS VPC configuration. So the basic configuration we did. So we have created one VPC and multiple subnets, and that subnets will talk to each other, that we have already did. So now what's the next we can do it. So in VPC, firstly I'm changing, I'm in the OU, and these two VMs we have created Aspen VPC private and Aspen VPC public. So these two VPC we have created, and they are able to log into each other. So let me start this video, let me start these instances. And now yes, it will start, and we have to see, can we how we will just see how we will connect again to these instances through one. So you can see my this is my CLI mode, and let it be start. So I'm just waiting for public one to start to get a public IP address, and then we will log into our private. So this is my public one, and if I want to connect with this one, I have to log in through my these keys and come here, logged in. Yes, and clear my screen. And if you see here, now come to my private instance. So already the keys are there into my this system. If you don't have the keys, you can't log in. So be very much, you should remember this thing. You should copy the keys on your public machine, then only you can connect to the private. If you are from the Windows, so I'm using from my Mac screen, it is SCP command. If you don't have Mac, or you are on the Windows, you can use the WinSCP tool to transfer your keys there. Okay, so my keys are already there, so I logged into my the private instance. So as I told you, if I'm giving sudo yum list, if I'm giving sudo yum list, it will not work. Why it will not work? Because this private instance doesn't have the connectivity with the internet. Okay, so now it's, for example, in any case, if I need this connectivity to need this connectivity from my private instance to secondary instance, private instance to the internet, then how you will do that? So if you remember till now, we have created one VPC complete. This is my VPC. Under this VPC we have created two subnets. So these are sorry, it's too big. Okay, so for example, this is my public subnet and this is my private subnet. This is we have created. This public subnet is connected to both has the routing table, other things, but it has internet gateway IGW. So through that I am able to connect, but this private doesn't have. To connect to the private to the internet, like this internet, so how we can do that? So there is two options are there. Okay, so first option, I will, it is the in between, there is a, so what these two option, NAT, one option is NAT instance we can create, second we can create NAT gateway. So this is the new option they gave, NAT gateway. So you can create the NAT gateway here and send this traffic to the outside, outside to the internet. So how we can create this NAT gateway? So today this is our practical, and I will show you how you can create this NAT gateway and NAT instance. So now come to our practical, and there is a, you have to create for the NAT instance, you have to launch the instance, and here you have to come to the marketplace. In marketplace you have to, or sorry, into the community AMI, and here you have to just search NAT. If you see, there is a lot of NAT instances came. So generally you can use any one. It is nothing, some of the differences are there. They have the VPC NAT HMV EBS is there. So I think both has little bit different, might be the configuration level. So I will just select any first one. It is a by default NAT instance. So you will think about how what is the NAT instance. If you want to understand more, it is a network concept. I will just tell you into the layman language. So in between, this is your NAT instance. It is called the network address translation. Okay, so why we use one? It will translate the one side of network and send the traffic to other side with the different network, and it will not allow, okay, to come inside, because this NAT will be changed the IPs. For example, I will tell you I am inside I'm working in for example, this user is working in the organization. In this organization, they have created a NAT firewall in between, and this is some machines are there. So what will generally happen when this person want to access this VM? This VM IP will be, for example, 172.16.2.1. Okay, so how this user will access? He will might be login to this machine 192.10 or 68.10.10, but when he try to log in, he will log in here. Is the same thing happened when we try to log into our public IP address into the AWS. So right now, if you see here, you just exit, and this is your public IP. So if you see here, you can't see your public IP address. That public IP address is only the translation. So you log in onto the public IP address, but actually you logged in directly here. That is the NAT AWS also is using. Okay, so now come, and I'm configuring the NAT instance. Okay, so for more, you can see this one, AWS NAT instance. So I will show you one images, so that will help you. Yes, so if they want to there is a NAT instance they have created, so you can, I will show you any simple diagram if it is there. Okay, both the things are same. Okay, so let's see this only. So here also, if you see, this is the public subnet, this is my private subnet. Now private subnet want to access, okay, to internet. What it will go, it will go to the router. This router have means it will NAT instance is here, so it can talk to the NAT instance into which is into the public. Through this one, it will come and go outside. So generally, this is the rule. It will connect to the your NAT instance. So how it will connect to the NAT instance, I will just configure now, and I will show you. So now let's create, now we are creating the NAT instance, so it should be into my VPC and in my public subnet. Okay, so it should not be into my private subnet, it should be in my public subnet. So I will not explain other things, let it be the same as here. You can just give your name here as been NAT instance. Okay, so create configuration. SSH should be enabled. So by default, or if I'm choosing my one, only SSH is enabled now. So let's launch here. Make SSD default boot for all the instances console going forward recommended. Okay. Storage, let's see what's the detail. It is 8 GB GP2. Okay, let's launch it. Okay, so now by default I will tell you one option. So when you are installing any this VPC instance, you have to by default our all the machines. Okay, its behavior is it's sending the traffic to both means source and destination check is there. Change source and destination check. So are you sure you would like to disable source and destination check for the instance with the following details? Yes. Why I want to disable? Because NAT instance will not going to check what is the source and what is the destination. Generally, all instances will check that one. So I have to disable that to make it as a NAT instance. Okay, so now I have created the NAT instance, and these two machines are also there under VPC. So now let's log into my VPC. Okay, come on the VPC. So now we have to understand how my system will go to the internet. So you can see here routing table. So yesterday we have, this is my default routing table, and this is my public routing table which we have created. In this one we have given to the internet gateway, so this route can directly go to the internet gateway. Now come on to the default routing. So how did this default routing will go, and in default routing how the my route will happen. So we have to just edit the route. In this route I have to mention all the traffic. I'm just mentioning all the traffic, and here I have to target to mention about the NAT instance. Okay, so this is the instance we have to talk about, and which instance? My VPC NAT instance, SPIN NAT instance. Now save the route. So now my route is configured permanent. It will all the traffic for my public means my default. It will go to NAT instance. So now come on to my CLI mode and test it. So I'm going to configure. I'm going to configure here to came to my private instance, where earlier we have seen the yum is not working. So now I am just showing you yum list and see will it work or not. No, still it is not working. So let's fix this issue. Why still it is not able to connect to the internet? Okay, so you already aware in your routing table, not routing table, just come on the security group. If you see in my security group, which we have using our SG, inbound rules are SPIN SG. There is two rules are there which we have using SPIN SG and SPIN SG. So this is this is so generally this particular we have to add one rule. Why we need to add? Because this traffic is going to the HTTP. So let me add that rule, and then we will test it. Will it work or it will still not work? So then there will be some other issue. So now you have to see this one, come on to our this one and try to, now it's working. So just remember when you are doing the things, what could be the problem. So if I'm not, so this yum installation will go through the HTTP request. So HTTP request, you have to open the HTTP port. So yum install like HTTPD. Now let's see if will it work. Yes, it's working. Okay, so now this was the first option which we have selected our NAT instance. There is another option in VPC to create the NAT gateway. It is just another option for the same use case. So there is a NAT gateway which you can create and use it. So let me create the NAT gateway. So for this, which subnet? So here is the challenge. You have to just remember which is your public subnet. Through that only, because through public subnet only it can traffic can go outside. So see your instance uh, into the subnet. If you want to you can see subnet ID from here. So let's check if you can see the subnet. Here security groups are, subnet ID is this one 65. This is your public subnet. So remember C66F5. So which one I will select here? 6, this one. So it should I have to select the subnet and now create new EIP and create NAT gateway. Now come on to the edit routing table. If you see the default routing table, okay, so let firstly stop me my NAT instance. So because already NAT instance is running, so you will not come to know. Let me terminate SPIN NAT instance. So it will shut it down. It will take some seconds. So let me pause the video. Yes, you can see now the instance is terminated now. So what we had, once it is terminated, now come on to your I will come on my VPC screen. In my routing table, so already I have created a NAT gateway and it is attached to my so it is still pending status, it is showing. So let it be, uh, and it will also take some time to connect it. So if you come on to the routing table and you see your default routing table, come here and it is showing the black hole, because that we have already instance we have terminated. Okay, so this instance NAT instance which we created terminated. Now that's the reason it is coming as a black hole. So what we have to do, we have to come on to the edit rules and delete this rule. Now let's add the new rule. So now all that my traffic should go through the NAT gateway, not the instance, NAT gateway. So which NAT gateway? It is only I have the one NAT gateway I have to select. Now replace the routing. Come on to the NAT gateway, see if it is working. Yes, it is available now. Now let's try to connect the same thing here. Let's install NTP. It is already mentioned. Let's install MS SQL. Will it work? So now the question will come, will it already there or it is not there? So if we are stop this one, so you can test this thing. So this is working because of NAT gateway or due to any other reason. Okay, so I will remove this. If you want, you can remove this NAT instance routing and save the routes and then see this one. Will it work? You're saying this is work, but when you select yes, this will not work because it will not able to connect, because this is in running in the cache. So that's the reason this problem, you will not see that problem till now. Yes, no, all these things. Okay, because already we ran that command and it was in the cache. So now this error came. Okay, so it is failed. It will try into all the repositories and then come back. So now let's try to configure this one. Meantime it will be come in the background. So I will go to cancel. Okay, so now come on to the route part, edit the route, add route 0.0.0.0/0. It is my NAT gateway. I will not going to save it because in the background if you see still it is running. Okay, so let me show you. Yes, it is now failed, error downloading package. Now I am going to add this one. Okay, so save the route for the NAT gateway and close it. Okay, now test it. Same thing. Yes, it's going to install and installed. So this is the two different ways how you can move your private traffic, also private subnet traffic to the internet. Okay, so this is way you can configure. It is either way with the NAT instance and you can configure with the NAT gateway. Okay, so now in the next chapter we will I will tell you some other options. So thanks a lot to watch this video. Thank you.